In the shadow of an ancient forest, there stood the Ravenwood Inn, a relic from a bygone era with a facade weathered by time and tales. Its reputation was as dark as the woods that encroached upon it, whispered to be a place of mysterious disappearances. Many who ventured into the Ravenwood seeking shelter from the tempests that raged across the countryside were never seen again. Yet, its doors remained open, as if inviting the curious and the brave to unveil its secrets. Eleanor and Michael, a couple fascinated by the paranormal, decided that the Ravenwood Inn would be their next adventure. Armed with nothing but a camera and an insatiable curiosity, they checked in as the storm clouds gathered ominously overhead. The innkeeper, a gaunt figure with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of sorrow, handed them the key to room 13, cautioning, "Beware the night, for it awakens the past." As nightfall descended, the inn's corridors twisted and turned, echoing with the whispers of those who'd vanished. The couple felt eyes watching from the shadows, but every turn revealed nothing. Room 13, at the end of a long, dimly lit hallway, waited for them, its door slightly ajar as if expecting their arrival. Inside, the room was a capsule of time, furnished with antiques that whispered of a bygone elegance. As the storm raged outside, Eleanor and Michael reviewed their recordings, only to find them filled with inexplicable shadows and disembodied voices pleading for help. Determined to uncover the truth, they ventured into the hallway, which now seemed to stretch into infinity. The portraits on the walls morphed, revealing the inn's past inhabitants, their eyes filled with terror. Following the voices, they were led to a hidden door that creaked open to reveal a spiral staircase plunging into darkness. Descending, they found themselves in an ancient cellar where the air was thick with despair. Chains hung from the walls, and in the center, a ledger lay on a stone pedestal. The book contained the names of all who had stayed at the inn, with the last entry being their own. As they flipped through the pages, the names began to vanish until only theirs remained. Suddenly, the truth dawned on them. The inn did not cause the disappearances. It was a sanctuary for lost souls, trapped between worlds, seeking to warn the living. The innkeeper, bound by a centuries-old curse, was tasked with protecting the boundary between the living and the dead. As the realization hit them, a spectral light filled the cellar, revealing the faces of those who had vanished, now peaceful. The innkeeper appeared, his spectral form shimmering with a sad benevolence. "You have freed them," he whispered, handing them a key. "The key to leave, for once the dawn breaks, the cycle will begin anew, but you will be spared." Eleanor and Michael raced back to room 13, the inn crumbling around them as the spirits found release. They escaped into the stormy night, the Ravenwood Inn disappearing behind them, its curse lifted. The couple never spoke of their night at the Ravenwood, but their lives were forever changed. They had touched the veil between life and death, freeing the souls trapped within and ending the haunting of the old inn. But the mystery of the Ravenwood Inn lives on, a cautionary tale whispered in the winds that sweep across the ancient forest, reminding all that some doors, once opened, can never be closed. In the heart of a forgotten village stood the house of closed doors, a dilapidated mansion whispered about in hushed tones by the locals. Its legend was as old as the village itself, telling of doors that led to realms beyond human comprehension, of those who entered and never returned. Despite its ominous reputation, curiosity led many to its threshold, including Ethan, a writer obsessed with the arcane. Ethan had come across the mansion's story in an ancient tome, his fascination driving him to seek it out. The villagers warned him, their eyes clouded with fear, but Ethan's thirst for a tale yet untold propelled him forward. The house stood, silent and imposing, its architecture a bizarre mix of styles, as if it were pieced together from different worlds. Ethan pushed the heavy front door open, stepping into a dimly lit foyer. The air was thick with the scent of dust and decay. Before him were numerous doors, each unique in design, ranging from ornate Victorian to simplistic modern, some appearing ancient, as if carved from the very roots of the earth. He chose a door at random, a heavy wooden barrier with carvings that seemed to shift and change as he watched. Heart racing, he opened it, stepping through into utter darkness. When his eyes adjusted, he found himself in a forest bathed in perpetual twilight, the trees towering and twisted, their branches clawing at the sky. Ethan explored this world, finding no end to the forest, no sign of life. As he ventured deeper, the trees began to whisper, voices that were not quite human, speaking in a language he felt in his bones rather than heard with his ears. Fear gripped him, urging him to flee back to the door, but when he turned, it had vanished. Panic set in as he ran, the whispers growing louder, more insistent. He stumbled upon a clearing where the trees circled a mirror-like pond. In its reflection, he saw not his own face, but a multitude of eyes staring back, filled with malice and hunger. Realizing the forest itself was alive, and he its prey, Ethan searched desperately for an escape, the whispers now screams in his mind. In a final act of defiance, or perhaps madness, he plunged into the pond, the cold embrace of its waters enveloping him. When he emerged, gasping for air, he was back in the foyer of the house of closed doors. Shaken, he fled the mansion, the doors slamming shut behind him, as if the house itself was satisfied with the terror it had instilled. Back in the village, Ethan wrote of his experience, his story a cautionary tale of curiosity and the unknown. But his tale was met with disbelief, dismissed as the ramblings of a man touched by madness. The house of closed doors stood silent, waiting for the next soul brave or foolish enough to uncover its secrets. But Ethan knew the truth. The doors weren't merely passageways to other worlds. They were tests, reflections of one's inner fears and desires. He had escaped, but something within him had changed, a part of him forever lost to the whispers of the forest. And so, the house remained, a puzzle box of horrors untold, its legend growing with each soul that dared to uncover its mysteries. The doors were always waiting, always hungry for the next story to unfold within their embrace.